So let's go back to this GC method. Now I've said that calling GC is a suggestion that it should run, it's not a guarantee. In fact, it's usually not a good idea to run the GC command. Explaining why this is the case can be a bit difficult, but it's worth thinking about the question, when should you tell the garbage collector to run? From a performance point of view, and we will be talking about this more in a future chapter, the garbage collection process is using up system resources, so it can slow down or even temporarily halt the running of your main application while garbage collection runs. So we really want it to run in the most efficient way possible. Letting the virtual machine decide that, rather than us trying to tell the virtual machine, is always going to be a good option. And in fact, if we think about that question, when should you tell the garbage collector to run? There's actually only one possibly good answer that I can come up with for that question, and even then it turns out it's not a good answer at all. Let's imagine that we're concerned with the performance of a piece of code and we want to evaluate two alternative ways of coding it up. We'll see the correct way to approach this a little later on in the course, but one thing we could do is code up both alternatives, and it might seem useful to run a garbage collection process before each of these alternative code blocks runs. That way we might get a more accurate evaluation of the performance. The idea is that by running the garbage collection immediately before our evaluation, we're trying to start each code block with the application and the environment in pretty much the same state. But the point here then is that because you can't guarantee that the garbage collector will run when you call GC, even in this example, it turns out not to be a good idea. We won't know if it ran in one instance and not the other. And so generally, we shouldn't ever call this GC method in any code that we write.